Let's talk about what it really means when Prince William tells the world, through sources, of course, that he's done with Prince Harry. Because let's be very honest, this isn't just a case of sibling rivalry gone wrong. This is about a man, Prince Harry, who had the courage to break a cycle of abuse, manipulation and cold-blooded tradition, and who is now being villainized for telling the truth. William, on the other hand, wants to bury that truth under Buckingham Palace marble. And now, as expected, he's feeding his favourite lapdog tabloids with whispers from Kensington Palace. William doesn't talk about Harry anymore. William is done with Harry, the same William who has never publicly taken accountability for his role in the smear campaign against Harry and Meghan. Let's take a moment to really process this. Harry sat down for an emotional, measured interview with the BBC. He didn't sling mud. He didn't even mention his brother by name. He talked about real concerns, like his personal safety, his father's health, and the continued refusal of the royal institution to treat him and Meghan with the dignity they deserve. It was a plea for understanding, a moment of openness. And what do we get in return? Radio silence from William, followed by press briefings making it crystal clear he wants nothing to do with his brother. Let me ask you this. What kind of future king silences compassion in favour of ego? What kind of so-called leader closes the door on his own brother, knowing full well the pain and loss that this family has already endured? Because let's not forget, this all began because Harry and Meghan decided not to be pawns in the monarchy's media game. They left for their mental health, for their safety, for the chance to raise their children in peace. That choice was their right. But the firm? Oh no. They wanted control, they wanted silence. They wanted Harry to fall in line, no matter the cost to his family, his marriage or his sanity. And now, years later, what we're seeing isn't just the breakdown of a relationship between two brothers. It's the royal establishment's complete refusal to evolve. William is done with Harry? Let's be honest, he was never really with him to begin with, not when it truly counted. Not when Harry and Meghan were drowning under the weight of relentless press attacks. Not when Meghan was suicidal and Harry begged his family for help. Not when the tabloids compared their son Archie to a monkey and the palace couldn't even be bothered to issue a real statement. And now when Harry says, "Life is precious. I don't know how much longer my father has—" A moment of heartbreaking honesty. William responds by slamming the door shut. He's done. Well, maybe that's for the best. Because you know what Harry's done with? He's done with the lies. He's done with being gaslit. He's done with a family that demanded obedience over integrity. And most importantly, he's done allowing his wife and children to be treated like second-class citizens in an institution that was all too happy to trade their pain for positive headlines. Let's talk about the bigger game being played here. The insiders, these unnamed sources, quoted by Us Weekly and other tabloids, they're not just throwing Harry under the bus, they're spinning a narrative that paints William as strong, stoic, unmoved. But strength isn't measured by how cold you can be. True strength is measured by how you treat others when the cameras aren't rolling. And what does it say about William that he's already reportedly decided Harry won't be welcome at his coronation? They're using royal protocol as a weapon now. They'll probably let Harry attend King Charles's funeral because they have to. But beyond that, William apparently wants to cut Harry out completely. That's not leadership. That's revenge dressed up in regalia. It reminds me of how they treated Edward VIII, the Duke of Windsor. Let him come back for King George VI's funeral, sure, but he wasn't welcome at the coronation. That same icy template is being dusted off for Harry, and the irony? Harry never abandoned duty, he abandoned abuse. There's a difference. But here's the kicker. While William's camp is busy leaking and spinning, Harry has built a beautiful life with Meghan. They've launched a successful production company, they're raising 2 gorgeous children in California, and they continue to support causes around the globe, from mental health to veterans' issues to climate justice. They show up, they speak out, they live their truth. Meanwhile, William is stuck, trapped in a palace that feels more like a PR war room than a family home, surrounded by courtiers who care more about optics than honesty. And every time he tries to erase Harry from the royal narrative, he only reminds the world how threatened he is by a man who walked away and still won. Let's be clear, the royal family had every opportunity to support Harry and Meghan, but instead they doubled down on silence, on cruelty, and on cowardice. And now they want us to believe that William, the same man who allowed his brother and sister-in-law to be thrown to the wolves, is somehow the victim in all this? Please. This is about control, about ego, about a monarchy that fears relevance slipping through its fingers. Harry told the truth, and for that he became the enemy. Meghan loved openly and shined too brightly, and for that she became a target. But we see through the noise. Prince William doesn't talk about Harry anymore. He's done with Harry. Prince Harry's BBC interview last Friday was entirely about his security, his father and the royal institution's machinations against the Sussexes. Harry didn't mention his brother by name, although he did allude to the fact that many in the Windsor clan will never forgive him for speaking out and telling his story. As I said previously, Prince William was actually in a difficult place, because the only thing he and Harry seemingly agree on is that King Charles is lying about his health and that William will be king soon enough, which is why all of the briefings coming out of Kensington Palace have been about William is going to do this and that when he's king, and those briefings predate Harry's BBC interview. Basically, William's not actually mad about any particular thing Harry said in the interview. It's just that William is permanently incandescent with rage about all things Harry. Speaking of, Prince William's lack of response to brother Prince Harry's recent comments is an intentional move, according to an insider. William doesn't talk about Harry anymore, a royal source tells Us Weekly, exclusively. Everyone knows it's a subject that they shouldn't bring up, so he hasn't brought up the interview and won't. The insider was referring to Harry's bombshell BBC News interview on Friday, May 2nd, in which he claimed Father King Charles III won't speak with me, and blamed the royal family for the recent loss in his ongoing battle to reinstate government-funded security for himself and wife Meghan Markle in the William is done with Harry, the same source told us. When he becomes king, everybody thinks the divide will become even wider. Us Weekly has reached out to Kensington Palace for comment. I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point in continuing to fight anymore, Harry stated in the BBC interview. Life is precious. I don't know how much longer my father has. I'm not trying to be macabre, but I really do wonder what William will do in the days after his father passes. There's so much coordination about which family members go where, and there's significant protocol to how the family reacts publicly. Is William just going to say, leave Harry out of it, he's not allowed at our father's funeral, I'm completely done with him? I looked it up. They let the Duke of Windsor come back for King George VI's funeral, but Edward didn't attend his niece's coronation. I think they'd probably use that as a model. Harry will be allowed at Charles's funeral, but he won't be invited to his brother's coronation. Not that Harry would want to attend, but I'm just saying he won't be invited. William briefed that to the Daily Beast back in 2023 too, that the next time and last time he sees Harry will be at their father's funeral. And here's what we won't do. We won't let them rewrite the story. Not while Harry and Meghan continue to live with grace, courage and integrity. So if you believe in truth over tradition, if you stand with Harry and Meghan as they break generational trauma, if you refuse to let the royal machine destroy two people simply for choosing love and freedom, then this channel is for you. Join the Royal Sussex Squad. Hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications and drop a super thanks if you want to help us keep telling the stories that matter. Because we are not backing down. We will not be silenced, and we will keep standing with Harry and Meghan no matter what. Stay loud, stay proud, and stay in the fight.